Good afternoon, everyone. Would you please stand for our procession? Thank you. You may be seated. Welcome to the School of Global Studies hooding ceremony to honor our Spring 2025 graduates. My name is Bailey Bryan, and I am the Academic Advisor and Program Coordinator for the School of Global Studies. Thank you for joining us today as we celebrate these 10 students. We celebrate their accomplishments, and we look forward to the impact that they have as they move on to their next chapter. We will begin our ceremony with a few opening remarks from Associate Provost and Dean of the School of Global Studies, Dr. Randy Kluver.
Thank you, Bailey. Can you hear me okay? Am I close enough to them? Okay. Good afternoon to everybody. My name is Randy Kluver, and it is my privilege to serve as the Associate Provost of OSU Global and Dean of the School of Global Studies. I'm delighted to be here with all of you today to celebrate this accomplishments for these graduates. I especially would like to recognize those who, the OSU School of Global Studies ambassadors, one of whom will be speaking with us today, who put a significant amount of time into helping our students and creating opportunities for them. I also want to welcome the graduates, your families, and the faculty and staff who have played such pivotal roles in these students' lives. We thank you for being here. It's an honor to have those of you with us in Stillwater, and to those who are watching online, welcome as well. I would like to acknowledge the platform party and the faculty of the School of Global Studies. Dr. Jamie Fullerton is Associate Dean of the School of Global Studies, Director of the school, and full professor. A native Oklahoman, Dr. Fullerton received her PhD from the University of North Texas and is an expert in public diplomacy and leads the Global Communication and Public Diplomacy track within SGS. Dr. Martin Breenan is Associate Professor and leads the Global Crisis Management track within SGS. A native of the Netherlands, Dr. Breenan received his PhD in Social and Political Sciences from the University of Amsterdam. Dr. Amy Malik is Associate Professor and Farzaneh Family Chair of the Iranian and Persian Gulf Studies program. In addition to providing oversight for the Global Development and Leadership program within the school, she provides overall program for the IPGS program. She is a native Georgian, as in Georgia, not the Republic of Georgia, as she wants to remind me, and she received her PhD from the University of California at Los Angeles. Dr. John Schoeneman is Assistant Professor and leads our Global Trade track within school. A native of North Carolina, he's also Director of Research for the Center of International Trade Development and the interim holder of the Wes Watkins Chair in Global Trade. Dr. Schoeneman received his PhD from Penn State University. Finally, Dr. Jeff Simpson is Assistant Dean and Director of Global Partnerships for OSU Global. Dr. Simpson is a native Nebraskan, and he works with students involved in international education policy and practice. There are many others tonight, faculty and staff from OSU who have played a significant role in helping our students complete their studies. You've provided mentorship, teaching, research support, and so many other types of support to help these students achieve this remarkable achievement. Thank you for being here and for your investment in our students. Tonight, as you can tell, we have students graduating from a number of nations. We are proud of and grateful for all of our graduates, but I really want to acknowledge those who come from very far away to study here. These countries are represented by these flags that you see behind the stage. We fly these flags in honor of the students and the sacrifices they have made to study here at Oklahoma State. You have made our program better by your presence here, and we are grateful that you chose to invest a portion of your life here with us in Oklahoma. Now I would like to introduce our guest speaker. Meredith Woodruff is a native of Stillwater, Oklahoma, a graduate of Stillwater High School and of Oklahoma State University, who went into a long and distinguished career within the intelligence community in the United States. After a long career with the U.S. government, she chose to return to her hometown, to Stillwater, where she's made a significant investment of her time, effort, and her fortune in the School of Global Studies. So many of our students have gotten to know Meredith through the years. She is continually giving opportunities for our students, mentoring our students, and just brings an invaluable perspective to our community. So Meredith, would you please join us?
You will notice I don't have a robe on, so I'm not going to stand up there. I'm just going to stand down here and talk to you all. Congratulations. All of these people, and I am so proud of you. You are now masters of the globe. Think of it that way, yeah? So you have Masters of Science in Global Studies, yeah? I want to talk for a minute about what that means and what it means to come from OSU also. Because I know all my life I've been asked, where's your education from? And have been proud to say it's from Oklahoma State University. But I want to be more specific than that. And I want the audience to think about this as well. First of all, it's a degree in global studies, not international studies, not international relations, but global studies. Do you see the difference between international and global? International has this connotation of nation by nation, or comparing nations. I hate to compare, but I'll go ahead and do it. I hate to compare our program to the program from that university down south of us, but I'll do that. Their degree is in international relations. They study it. What we look at is a much broader perspective. We give you a lens that allows you to look at the entire world, the globe as a whole, rather than country by country. Does that make sense? Yeah. So think of it that way. You are now being given the opportunity to tap into everything on the globe, in the world, rather than just country by country. So that's your global studies piece. But your degree is from Oklahoma State University, which is a land-grant university. I never really thought about that when I was your age or undergraduate here. A land-grant university, this university was set up in the late 1800s. The federal government gave us property and we built this institution, but for a very specific purpose. It had to have not just the academic piece to it, but it had to have a practical piece to it. So your education centers not just on the academic study of what's going on globally, but it prepares you to take action on your studies. Does that make sense? Gonna do that? Promise? Okay. I see you're gonna take pictures back here, and above it, it is kind of the slogan of OSU Global. How will you change the world? Yeah? So, two things to remember when someone says, this is kind of your elevator speech, you know, so why'd you go to OSU? I went there because it offered a global perspective rather than an international perspective. And I went there because it's a land-grant university, and it prepared me to actually do something rather than to just study it. Remember that. Okay. So, secondly, you know, graduation speakers, I'm going to talk for a minute. Graduation speakers are chosen because they're supposed to impart some wisdom to you. Yeah, okay, usually go follow your dreams, step out there, do whatever. I want you to think about a couple of things. First of all, what's your next step? What are you going to do? Some of you have that very clearly outlined. You're going to vet school, you're going to graduate school, you're doing, something. Some of you have not a clue, and that's okay too, because you are prepared to take action now globally, right? But what I want you to think about is what do you want, if you're thinking globally, what do you want out of life? Thought about that? Other than the career, other than, yes, I'd like to make some money, I'd like to be able to take care of my family, to live comfortably, to do something to make a change in the world. How about yourself? Are you looking for some self-satisfaction, for some fulfillment, for some peace at the end? I can say this, some peace at the end of your career to say, I really have had an effect. I really have made an impact on the world around me. I hope this education has helped you come to that conclusion. Yeah? That's what you'd like to do. So how are you going to do it? Here's my wisdom. After I left my career in the government, I went back to school and I got my global certification in executive coaching and leadership development. It was kind of a master's degree program, a 2-year program. And with that, I formed my own company and I started coaching and doing leadership development with companies, but with individuals who were executives in organizations, in corporations, in countries. They were leaders, they had had a lot of success, they were big deals. And I always ask them at some point, because the conversation got around to it, so, in looking at your life now, what do you regret? And none of them ever said, I regret taking the steps I took or the decisions I made. What they regretted was what they didn't do. Any of you feel that way? Do you ever say, I wish I had just taken a minute and done this, just not necessarily instead, but in addition? I'm going to tell you my story. So all of my life, all of my young life, was in preparation to become a lawyer. My dad was a judge, a lawyer and a judge. My brother's a lawyer. My uncles were judges and lawyers. And that's what I thought I was going to be. It's what my family thought I was going to be. I have that kind of lawyer personality. So, yeah, don't be shaking your head. Yes, I know. Okay, so in high school, I joined a debate team. In college, I debated for OSU. I majored in English to learn how to write better. I studied history. I studied political science. And the fall of my senior year in college, I applied to law schools, and I got into what I think are probably the 2 best law schools in the United States. This was back in the day when they were desperate for women. Now, of course, 80% of all law students are women. Yay. But, so I got into these law schools, and I was on my way. But at Christmas of my senior year, my mother said to me, you're going to graduate with an English degree. What are you going to do with that? You better think of something. Get something additional that you can actually support yourself doing. Okay, so at the time, you could get a teaching certificate in 1 semester. So that's what I did. I got a teaching certificate to teach English at the high school level. I thought I'd never use it. But included in that program, I had to do practice teaching. And I did. Taught juniors and seniors English literature, and it changed my life. It was the most fulfilling, most wonderful experience I had ever had. So I wrote to those law schools, the one I had been accepted to and chosen, and said, could I just defer for a year while I do this other thing? And they said, sure, 1 year, you could do that. So I told my family, this is what I'm going to do. My family was not happy at all, because they were all set, you know, you're going to go to do this and be a lawyer just like the rest of us. And so I said, okay, just a year, I'm just going to do this for a year. So I went actually back to Washington, D.C., and taught high school English. And it was the hardest thing I'd ever done. It was in a school that was, a new school was building, so they had joined 2 high schools. And I taught 7 hours a day, 45 kids a class, English, literature, and writing. Huh. It was hard, but it was the best time I'd ever had. It was wonderful. And with that experience then, I never went to law school. I taught another year, saying to my family, I'll just defer another year. And then it got me overseas teaching, which of course was wonderful. And then it got me into a community where I met all kinds of folks. And I realized I wanted to make an even bigger impact. And I joined the organization that I lived with my whole life and lived in the world of global espionage, which was terrific and which really gave me great satisfaction. If I had not, I often look back and think, what if I'd gone to law school? I probably would have had a wonderful career and done very well. But I had this other opportunity. So when I ask these very successful people, do you have any regrets? They say, I don't have any regrets about the direction I took and the things that I did. What I regret is the things that I did not do. I want you to know, and I hope you've realized this by now, that this degree of yours has opened up all kinds of avenues for you. If you have a degree in global studies with an emphasis in trade, you don't have to do trade. You can do whatever. But you can do it anywhere in the world. How lucky you are. So take advantage of that. Go out and make those decisions, do those things that you're directed to do, and those things that you wish you could do. So tonight, when all of this hoopla is over with, and you're in bed, and it's dark, and you are thinking, think about this. What I'm going to do next, what's it going to lead to? Is there anything out there that I would rather do or that I'd like to do in addition to this? And ask those questions of yourself every night. Good luck and congratulations.
Thank you so much, Meredith. We appreciate you taking the time out of your day to come speak those words of encouragement to our students. Now, I would like to introduce our next speaker. The Student Association of Global Affairs, or SAGA, is a student-run organization at OSU dedicated to fostering activities that complement the students' coursework that's related to international topics. SAGA has an elected executive team, and every year we invite a member of SAGA to come up and address the graduating class. I would like to welcome the 2024-2025 SAGA Treasurer, Kevin Kutesa.
Distinguished faculty, staff, honored guests, friends, and most importantly, my fellow graduates of class of 2025, good afternoon. My name is Kevin Kutesa. It is such an incredible honor to stand before you today as a member of the Executive Committee of Student Association of Global Affairs. but most importantly, as a proud fellow graduate of the Masters of Science in Global Studies. When I was asked to speak today, I thought to myself, like, finally, after 2 years of analyzing global crisis, I get the chance to create my own. I hope not. But seriously, what an incredible journey we've been on. 2 years ago, we arrived from different corners of the world, from Turkmenistan, Ghana, Malaysia, Nigeria, Bangladesh, Iran, Uganda, and of course the United States. We've shared something powerful, dreams that were big enough to make us leave home, face uncertainty, and chase something extraordinary. For me, I still remember my very first week at the School of Global Studies. The incredible orientation, the nervous excitement, the overwhelming sense that I was stepping into something life-changing, and the very important yet challenging question of how will you change the world? Every morning, I would walk through the hallways of Wes Watkins Center with pride in my heart and belief that each step of the way brought me closer to answering that question in a more meaningful way. But I also like to tell a story that in the same hallway, I was met with hesitation every time I ran into Dean Kluver or Andrew because I couldn't tell them apart. Two tall, sharply dressed guys in suits. Honestly, for my first week, I thought it was just one very busy person with amazing teleportation skills. As a student of global studies, I have experienced the globe in more ways than I could have imagined, for sure. It was not just through books and classes, but through the friendships formed with classmates, through the laughter we shared over dishes from around the world at our potluck parties, where every bite told a story. It was in my work as a graduate assistant helping shape strategies to engage our international student alumni, and seeing firsthand how global connections transcend borders. It was also during my internship in Puebla, Mexico, where I immersed myself in the language, the culture, and the daily life of a new community. Each of these experiences deepened my understanding that the world is not just something we study, it is something we live, breathe, and build together. As Mel Robbins says, you are always one decision away from a completely different life. For many of us, that decision meant crossing oceans, saying goodbye to loved ones, and stepping into a world of unknowns. We feared if this journey would pause our careers, stretch our limits, or shake our dreams. But we chose courage. And today, that courage has helped us to do the things that we couldn't believe we could do yesterday. And yet still, that courage has brought us to this moment, here and now. Let's be real, this journey hasn't been easy. There was readings we didn't understand, culture shocks, late nights, deadlines we pretended didn't exist, and of course science jokes from Dr. Shoneman's class that needed a whole TED talk to explain. But somehow we laughed eventually. To our professors and staff of the School of Global Studies, thank you so much for pushing us beyond our comfort zones and for believing in the potential of this program and in each of us. Thank you for the generosity, mentorship, and unwavering support. May we honor you by paying it forward. Through the inspiration drawn from my time here at the School of Global Studies, I found my answer to the question of how will you change the world? I will change the world by using every opportunity I have to lift others, whether through education, empowerment, or simply showing someone they matter. I have come to believe the real change happens in the lives we touch every day. I may not change the whole world at once, but I will change someone's world, and that is how the bigger change begins. Your investment in us will ripple outward in ways you may not fully see, but I promise you it matters. To our families, thank you for supporting us, even when you weren't entirely sure what global studies meant or what kind of jobs we might get. Your faith in us gave us courage when our own faltered. And to me personally, on this day, So to me personally, on this day, I can help.
Where were you? And to me personally, on this day, I can't help but think the proud faces of my dear siblings and my mother, and how meaningful it would be to have them here witnessing this moment in person. Though they are far away, I carry their pride with me, and I know many of us here are doing the same. Their love reaches across every border, and it has brought us to this very moment. And to my fellow graduates, what can I say?
We entered this program, to my fellow graduates, we entered this program as students of the world. We live as its stewards. Some of us will join international organizations, others will work in diplomacy, business, or academia. Some will return their home countries to apply what we've learned, while others will forge pathways in new places. But wherever we go, we carry with us the profound understanding that the challenges facing humanity do not respect national boundaries, and neither should our solutions. As we prepare to leave this program or campus, I'm reminded of an African proverb so close to my heart, and it says, when you cross a river, do not forget to send a boat back for others. This wisdom has become deeply personal to me as I stand here today because of a dear friend who remembered to send the boat to me when I needed it the most. Each of us has been given incredible opportunities here. Let us not forget to create pathways for others. The world needs what we have to offer, our cross-cultural understanding, our analytical skills, our commitment to finding common ground, and perhaps most importantly, love and hope. Yes, the challenges are immense today, and they can seem overwhelming. But remember that in times of greatest challenge lie the greatest opportunities of positive change. And just like one of my favorite songs from Lee Ann Womack says, whenever one door closes, I hope one more opens, and give faith a fighting chance. And when you get a choice to sit it out or dance, I hope you dance. Our education isn't just about understanding problems, it's about having the courage to step onto the flow and participating in their solutions. The world needs engaged participants willing to take risks, embrace opportunities, and yes, to dance, even when the rhythm feels unpredictable, like it is now. So as we move forward from this milestone, let's carry not just our diplomas, but also the courage to dance through life's uncertainties. So today, as we celebrate this milestone, let's make a promise to each other. Let's promise to stay connected, to support each other's work, and never to admire quietly. If you admire something about someone, let them know, for we often do not recognize what is beautiful in ourselves or even our greatest strengths until someone points it out. So please do not admire quietly. As I conclude, I would like to say, trust in the Lord with all your heart, and lean not on your own understanding. In all your ways, submit to him, and he will make your path straight. As one of our cowboy chords says, we dream as big as the sky, and we finish what we start. And finish it, we have. But this is not goodbye. To us, this is a time to fly. May the lives we touch, the change we create, and the global stories we write next be the brightest orange proof that we were here. Congratulations, class of 2025. Go Pucks.
Kevin, you're awesome. That's it. You're awesome. Now we will begin the hooding portion of our ceremony. At this time, we will recognize our degree candidates by hooding each of them to signify their success in completing the Master of Science in Global Studies. As they walk back to their seats, they will receive a gift from the School of Global Studies. The gift is a signed copy of Charles Chick Dombach's book entitled Exhaust the Limits, The Life and Times of a Global Peace Builder. Chick is an esteemed alumnus of Oklahoma State University. He has built a career in public service, including helping to negotiate peace in several conflict zones around the world. His vision and his commitment to global peace inspired a number of his former OSU classmates to establish the Dombach Peace Builders Fellowship. The hope of this fellowship is to inspire current and future students to live a life of peace building. As we move into our hooding ceremony, please hold your applause until I get done reading the bio about each student that we're going to celebrate. Our first student, I'm also going to apologize now. I have been practicing your names all morning. I'm probably going to mess at least one of them up. I'm sorry. Our first student is Damilola Adebayo. Dami is from Lagos, Nigeria. She received a Bachelor of Laws degree in Nigeria. During her 2 years in our program, Dami served as a trade fellow in the Center for International Trade and Development. Dami has received the Thomas and Emma Bennett Scholarship. Her future plans are to pursue a PhD in educational leadership and policy studies with a focus on higher education. She says her hope is to explore student development and global education policy while continuing her leverage on legal and analytical expertise. Dami is being hooded by Dr. John Shoneman. Our next graduate is Fumilola Adebayo. Fumi is from Lagos, Nigeria. She received her Bachelor of Laws degree from a university in Nigeria. Fumi has focused on the business and trade track while her 2 years in our program. She completed an internship with the Small Grain Extension Office at OSU. She learned agricultural research and assessed grain quality. She said the practical knowledge that she gained has helped her develop a deeper understanding of how agricultural research can support global trade and food security efforts. Fumi received the Meredith Woodruff and Don Gardner Endowed Scholarship and the Thomas and Emma Bennett Scholarship. Her future plans are to continue her education by getting her PhD in educational leadership and policy studies with a focus in higher education. Fumi is being hooded by Dr. John Shoneman. Our next graduate is Gazelle Baramian. Gazelle is from Iran, and she received a bachelor's in business administration. During her time in our program, Gazelle did an internship with the English Language and Intercultural Center. She focused on digital marketing, content creation, social media promotion, and social media management. Gazelle received the Sidwell Family Endowed Scholarship. She has been accepted into a PhD program for merchandising, design, and housing, where she will continue her research in consumer behavior, sustainable fashion, and marketing. Gazelle is being hooded by Dr. John Shoneman. Our next graduate is Alamin Chowdhury. Alamin is from Bangladesh. He has a Bachelor's of Education and a Master's of Japanese Studies from the University of Dhaka. Alamin focused in the Global Crisis Management track. He has received the Milburn Scholarship and the Humphreys Long-Term Travel Grant. He did an internship in Central Europe and researched refugee integration into Central Europe. Al-Amin has been accepted into a PhD program and hopes to become a professor in the future. Al-Amin is being hooded by Dr. Martin Breenan. Okay, Mozafar, I'm really sorry. Our next graduate is Mozafar Haji Jafari. Mozafar is from Iran. He has a doctorate of veterinary medicine and a doctor of veterinary sciences from Iran. During his time in the program, Mozafar focused on the business and trade track. Mozafar said, during his time in our program, he has enjoyed meeting new friends from different countries, and they have helped him grow and develop a deeper understanding of global issues. He is a current PhD student as well here at OSU. After completing our program, Mozafar will transition to the PhD program full-time and work toward completing that degree. Mozafar is being hooded by Dr. Jamie Fullerton. Our next student is Kevin Kutesa. Kevin is from Uganda, where she received a bachelor's degree in Office and Information Management and Business. During her time in the program, Kevin's focus area was global leadership and development. Kevin did an internship in Puebla, Mexico. She was an intelligence and planning intern at our OSU Puebla office. Kevin received the Humphreys Long-Term Travel Grant, Thomas and Emma Bennett Scholarship, and the Meredith Woodruff and Don Garner Endowed Scholarship. Kevin plans to stay at Oklahoma State University and pursue her MBA. Kevin is being hooded by Dr. John Schoeneman. Our next graduate is Yıldız Mamidova. Yıldız is from Turkmenistan, and she attended university in Turkey, where she studied international relations. While in our program, Yıldız completed internships with Global Ties US and Every Campus a Refuge, or ECAR. At Global Ties US, she was part of the External Affairs team, where she worked on advocacy projects and policies to help create social change. Yıldız received the Hyatt Distinguished Graduate Fellowship Scholarship. She was also selected to represent OSU and Oklahoma as part of the Young Leaders Initiative program in Washington, D.C. Next, Yıldız will continue to study communications and hopefully go on to receive her PhD. Yıldız is being hooded by Dr. Amy Malik. Our next graduate is Samari Simpson Jimenez. Samari grew up in Florida but is from Nicaragua. She received her bachelor's degree from Oklahoma State University in political science with a minor in legal studies. While in the program, Samari focused on global business and trade. She did a creative research project for her capstone. She focused on trade, FCI, and GDP growth in Latin America and the Caribbean. Samari will continue serving the OSU community by working on campus. Samari is being hooded by Dr. John Schoeneman. Our next graduate is Hao Tan. Hao is from Malaysia. He has a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering from Oklahoma State University. Hao focused on global business and trade. While in our program, Hao served as a graduate assistant in OSU Global Partnerships, helping foster relationships between universities. Hao says his 2 years in the program went by way too fast. He's thankful for all the connections he has made. Hao is being hooded by Dr. Jeff Simpson. Our last graduate that we're going to be honoring today is Ruth Ziaji. Ruth is from Ghana. She received her undergraduate degree from the University of Cape Coast, Central Region of Ghana. Ruth has a passion for transformative leadership, youth empowerment, and creating sustainable development solutions, which led her to focus on global leadership and development. Ruth received numerous honors and awards throughout her time in our program. After graduation, Ruth plans to continue working in the nonprofit and development space, specifically focusing on youth empowerment and women's leadership. She hopes to make an impact both in her home country and globally. Ruth is being hooded by Dr. Jeff Simpson. This concludes the hooding portion of our program. Next, I invite Dr. Jamie Fullerton to give director's comments and present our student award. As she makes her way to the podium, please join me in one more round of applause for our graduates.
Yeah. You thought you were going to get to be done, but now I have a few more things to say to you before I let you go. For those of you who do not know me, I'm Dr. Jamie Fullerton. I'm the director of the school, and I'm also a professor. I teach in the public diplomacy track. I know I speak for the entire faculty when I say that we've enjoyed having each and every one of you in class and working with most of you in the Wes Watkins Center every day as you were doing your assistantships. We're very grateful to you for investing your lives here with us. We're grateful to your parents and your friends and the others who have supported you along the way. The School of Global Studies at Oklahoma State is dedicated to preparing students for a global future, a challenging future, a future where problems are global and our solutions are global. You've studied big, sticky problems such as climate change, inequality, migration, conflict, and how human rights violations impact individuals and communities across borders. You sought knowledge not just for its own sake, but to be agents of change in the world. You've witnessed the growing interconnectedness of the world. You sought knowledge not just for its own sake, but to be agents of change in the world. And you've witnessed how crisis in one corner of the world can impact and ripple through others. You've also realized the power of global media to bring us together and also divide us. You've learned from Dr. Breenan how to manage a crisis and that NGOs aren't always the answer for the developing world. And at the same time, you've learned from Dr. Malik the amazing work that NGOs can do to benefit developing countries. Dr. Shoneman taught you how to use R, even though most of you thought you'd never master it, and most of you probably haven't. These lessons aren't just academic. They are life lessons that will shape you as you move through the world. So I hope you'll reflect on your time in the program. You'll remember the opportunities and the experiences you've had outside the classroom, from cooking hamburgers and being in a rainy homecoming parade and tailgate, to gathering at my condominium a few weeks ago to have barbecue. Several of you enjoyed evenings at the Summit Club in Tulsa with Dr. Kluver for the Tulsa Council on Foreign Relations, while others participated in the Model UN competitions in St. Louis and Chicago. I know you'll fondly remember how you relied on Bailey when things were tough and sought wisdom from Patricia and now Anna when you couldn't get your computer to work or the copy machine was jammed up or when you just really didn't feel like being at work that day. I know you have several special memories of times with friends across the country, football games, late night studying, and things that I don't even know about, and some that I don't want to know about. But I have one more recognition to make before I let you go. I'm going to miss you guys a whole lot. I'm going to miss Alameen greeting me every morning with a very polite nod. Good morning, ma'am. I'm going to eventually figure out Fumi and Dami. I got Andrew and Randy down, but I still haven't gotten those two separated. But before we leave, I have one more recognition to make, the Outstanding Student Award. I knew this student was going to be outstanding. I watched their application actually for a couple of years before they ever got to come to Stillwater. They were a Fulbright finalist and an honored undergraduate at a very prestigious European university. This person did not disappoint. She managed a perfect 4.0 while in our program. What I didn't know before she came is she's also an outstanding mother, wife, and friend. And this student has worked tirelessly as a GA in the marketing department, much of the time when we didn't even have a marketing director, so basically she was it. She was part of the award-winning Model UN team and honestly wrote one of the best papers in public diplomacy that I've received since being in the program. She also interned at Global Ties US in Washington and won a trip to Washington from the Tulsa Council on Foreign Relations. I'm happy to recognize this year's outstanding student, Yildiz Mendova.
Okay. So, yeah. Thank you so much for everything. And I was thinking these days about the post on LinkedIn that I should post when I graduate from this school. And in that post, I wanted to, so today I'm going to do this post here. So I just want to say everyone who is here, who helped me a lot, all my professors, everyone. I know I bothered a lot of you guys coming to your office and asking decision what I have to do, because this semester it was very difficult to me. I got to acceptance, and I tried to make decision which school I should go. And Dr. Malek, Dr. Shoneman, Dr. Brennan, Dr. Fullerton, even Dr. Kluwer, everyone gave their
Different opinion.
different opinion. Yeah, that's true. But you helped me a lot. Thank you so much. And yeah,
Thank you, Jill.
thank you.
Okay, I'm not quite done, Dr. Kluver. I grew up in Oklahoma. I've spent a fourth of a century here at OSU, believe it or not, the ag school in the state. And I always have to tell this short story of how being a professor is like a farmer. We're teachers and we plant seeds of learning, we cultivate the right conditions, we watch knowledge grow, and then we harvest the product and send it out to benefit others. Then we take a break in the summer, we rest, we restore, so that in the fall we're ready to plant a new crop. Dr. Brennan came in today and said if we would just stop graduating these students, we wouldn't have to worry about recruiting new ones. Unfortunately, that's not how it works, and the cycle continues. Today, as I've said many times before, I'm harvesting. You're fully matured, and now I must send you out in the world to solve global programs that you've been trained to address. I know you'll do great, but I must admit it's always a little bittersweet to see you go. It's always tough to say goodbye, but the time has come. So on behalf of the faculty and the School of Global Studies, we wish you well. Please keep in touch and know that you can always count on us for support. Now you may close.
Sorry, our platform up here is very squeaky today, so we're trying to work around that. So I do get the privilege, I think, is this the last thing? Okay, so I get to close. I just want to make a final set of comments to our graduates. Congratulations to all of you. I commend you for your commitment to your academic studies, to prevailing. We're in a world of conflict. New wars break out, seems like all the time, and it's very, very difficult to focus on your academics when there's turmoil in your home country, and many of you have endured that in the last couple of years. So congratulations. We know that trying to focus on your academic work when your nation is in uproar is not an easy task. I looked it up today. According to the World Bank, less than 15% of the U.S. population and several European nations has a master's degree or equivalent. Once you step outside of the U.S. and Western Europe, those numbers change dramatically. Even in many developed nations such as Korea, the number of people with master's degree is lower than 5%. When you look at a global basis, even the World Bank can't tell you what percentage of the world population has a master's degree, but I would argue that it's probably much lower than 1%. And so, although your bank account might not make you feel like you're part of the global elite, you are. You have achieved something truly significant. You have, and a master's degree, a graduate degree, is not always about the classes you study. It's not always just about the content, regardless of what Dr. Shoneman tells you about R. It's about the university certifying that, in fact, you are a person who can learn, you are a person who can apply themselves, you are a person who can see a project through. And so you might not remember everything from the classes that you took. We hope you do, because we think that we've designed it to make it helpful to you. But we also know, regardless of what content you retain, you have proven your character, you have proven your abilities, and you've proven your ability to achieve something significantly. And as Spider-Man's Uncle Ben told him, with great power comes great responsibility. And so OSU is conferring upon you today this recognition of your drive, your intelligence, and your commitment to making a difference in the world. So my charge to you is that you move out into your careers or further graduate study. You remember the places you've come from. You honor the opportunities you've been given. You continually sharpen your skills and your perspective, and you view the entire world in some sense as your responsibility. You will be encouraged at points in your career, and you will be opposed at some point during your career. But you have the skills, you have the intelligence, you have the means to succeed, not just in your career, but in some manner to begin to address these critical global needs. Thank you all for being here today to celebrate our Spring 25 graduates. To our graduates, we offer you our very best wishes as you make your way beyond Stillwater to make a difference in the world. Again, as has been said many times, we're grateful you chose to invest a portion of your life with us. And we hope that the education you've received will serve you well as you move into the next stage of your journey. Please do stay engaged with us, tell us what you're doing, and be an advocate for the School of Global Studies. Many of you have received scholarships while you were here, and those scholarships make a difference, and those come from our graduates, those come from OSU graduates, and they invest in your life knowing that you will then invest in the world. So I hope you join us across the street at Gallagher-Iber Arena for the graduate commencement ceremony at 4:30 p.m. Finally, graduates, I just want to remind you, but before you break up, let's all gather over there and take a final photo. Thanks to everyone for being here today. Okay.
Thank you guys so much. Family and guests, you guys are welcome to grab some food and some drinks and then just hang out. Graduates, please stick around to take a picture. All of these pictures will be shared with your students, and so if you don't get one, the students will get a link. If they check their email, that's on them. But I will send them a link next week to all of these photos as well. Thank you guys.